What's up, Lucky Gamers? It's Lucky Lux bringing you guys some of the best reverse 1999 content. Today, we're going to be talking about a tier list for early game to help prepare you guys for units that you want to start with in global. Hopefully, some of the waifus or husbandos that you guys want are on this list in the higher tiers. Of course, this is just opinions. I'm going to be using prid1.gg to help out with this. I also play on CN, so I have some of my own information also to add to this. But anyways, let's go ahead and hop into the video. All right, guys, so here is the tier list, and they break it up greatly into the three categories that I also told you guys on the team building, right? So they have damage dealer, support, and survival. Now, this is going to be more of an overview over the characters. I still do want to do a separate video of going over characters in their separate categories because I just don't want to be here all day talking about every single character because there's a lot of them when I could just break it down, right? But this is going to be for those of you who don't necessarily want that breakdown or you just want to get as much information as you can, right? So when it comes to characters in the damage dealing spot, you have a few here for early game: Bicorn Bloom, Centurion, and Eternity. Really great characters. Centurion and Eternity stand out a lot because they have sustain. You do want characters that are either a little bit tanky or can help heal themselves, because this makes it a lot easier because the DPS can take a lot of damage. Being that there's just certain attacks enemies do that will specifically target your DPS, or that'll hit everybody. And just as you get into like mid to late game, you just kind of want DPS that just really help you out. Now, you might have heard me say that the other characters that are also the guaranteed 6 stars, Regulus and Lila, are also really great characters, but you're like, why aren't they here up in S tier? Well, that's because in early game, as this is what we're going over, early game, Regulus and Lilia just don't start out as great because they require a lot more investment. They're crit oriented characters and they really need a team built around them. And so in the early game, you're not really worried about that. You're really trying to push content, unlock stuff, and just kind of level up your account. Eternity does not take all of that. She's immune to a lot of different things, and she still offers great damage. Even though, yes, Lilia can push to crazy amounts of damage, not when you first log on to the game, right? So that's why they're not up here in S tier. Again, but they're still very strong, right? It's just you have to put in a little bit more than other characters. Bjorn Bloom is great because she just offers a lot of debuffs on her side, and that's always great to help out. And I said that before in my team building, and Pridwin does a great job of highlighting that. There are characters that have kind of like multiple roles. So like Bjorn Bloom, she can be a debuffer, but she also can be a damage dealer. And you'll see that a lot in multiple characters where like they'll be a survival, like where they're healing or tanking, but they can also do some decent damage. And that helps you if you necessarily didn't get the character that you wanted in the damage dealing spot, or you're waiting for somebody. You could have another character that could take that role as well, right? So in the support, you have Anan Lee, great buffer, is able to like lower damage reduction, does daze, which stops enemies from acting, right? It's like a stun. So that's really great for support, especially if you're just trying to lower the amount of damage that you take on your team. Sinetto is a free unit that we get. So you really don't have to work hard to get a S tier character for early game. She buffs attack by like 15%, uh, damage reduction by 15%, and penetration by 10%. And she can also debuff the enemy if they have like buffs, which is really important. But again, she's free, so you don't have to work really hard to get her. Voyager, really great support, is able to do a silence. She also offers extra damage with Genesis damage. So just again, like a support that can offer some extra damage. And Genesis damage, by the way, is true damage, which I'll put a video out kind of just going briefly over like the different damage types, because there are characters that do something for like reality, mental, Genesis, and a lot of you have probably no idea what I'm talking about. In survival in S tier, we have DK Dyke, whatever you call her. She's gonna be kind of like a jack of all trades, can fit multiple places, but it's not really there for like anything specifically dedicated. But being that it's early game, it's a great character for you to have. Also, she is free after 8 days of logging in. You will be able to get her. I am very close to getting her. On the New CN account I have. So as I'm streaming this week, you'll be able to see me using her. But she also offers some damage to your team as well. And she's a 5-star, so pretty easy to get. If you're re-rolling, a lot easier than the 6 stars, right? Medicine Pocket, again, great. More in that dedicated healer spot, offering damage reduction, because you do want that damage reduction. You do want that healing. You do not want to try to go with this all straight damage characters, guys. I'm telling you, watch my team building guide. I was just talking about we want your characters, and as you see me like streaming it and stuff, or you're playing your accounts, you'll need you'll need to have characters in survival. So please do not ignore this role. All right. And so as we get into A tier, you start to get a lot crazier characters for early game. Again, Regulus is here, which moves into S tier. Crit oriented character, likes to crit a lot, can have huge damage potential in the end. Eagle also likes to crit as well. She gives herself like 40% crit on one of her abilities, which is really good. Juvis third, 6-star character. She has Petrify, which pretty much stuns the character. It just breaks it if they take, I believe, reality damage, right? Charlie is actually great. And what they have here is she's a dispeller, so she takes off certain buffs from the enemies. But after Portrait 3, so if you get 3 copies of her, she is an S tier, and she actually rivals Lilia in damage. So if you really like Charlie, you get a lot of copies of Charlie. Or there's like a not sure if she's gonna be on the banner at first or upcoming. But Charlie's gonna be a great damage dealer to have. So yes, she is a yes. A knight, which is a funny character to me, is gonna be a character that, like, as he's taking damage, does more damage. It's honestly just gonna be like a bruiser type of character, like just has a lot of damage buffs to himself, buffs his moxie. It's kind of crazy. But again, not necessarily like super top tier because there's other characters that just outshine, but a good character to have, especially if you just want to have like an Aegis slash like style character, right? If you just literally want just a sword, there you go, right? All right, so in the A tier, the supports that we have, Baby Blue, she's really good because if the enemy is afflicted with like I can't remember it's like stats down, a couple other debuffs. She's able to inflict nightmare, which prevents them from taking action until they attack. She's also able to lower their mental defense, right? So if you're building a specific type of team, Baby Blue is going to be good for that. And again, video coming out talking about those damage types, right? Bet being a 3-star character, really surprising, right? You're like, why is a 3-star character up here in A tier? Well, it's because Bet is able to empower, is able to throw a shield on, prevent damage taken. Just does a lot as a 3-star. And again, we're talking early game. So that is something that you want. And a 3-star is really easy to invest into. Really easy to invest into. And you can get copies. You can get portraits. So you can get like your P levels. That sounded weird. But you can get a lot of investment into the 3 and 4 stars. Same as Eric is able to debuff. Also lowers the enemy's crit defense, and then it's basically allows them to be crit more often. It's worded differently, but basically it allows them to get crit harder and more often. So a great character if you're building into like Regulus or Lila, right? And you're wanting those crit supports, there you go. Balloon Party, I have her on my CN account and I'm loving her. She has what is classified in the game as like mass healing. It's basically AoE healing. She also does decent amount of damage. She also has counter. Just a great unit to have if you are unable to get a healer. She was on the banner for the 1.3 update. So hopefully though you can get her a lot earlier than having to wait till 1.3 to get her. La Sauce is a 3-star that offers healing. And not just healing, mass healing, which is group healing, AoE healing. So you really want that, really want the AoE healing, because whenever you use that character's card, just heal your team. And again, a character that's really easy to invest into because it's like pretty much everybody will have her if you're pulling, right? Oliver Fogg gives damage reduction, which is good to have on your team. If you're unable to get any of the characters above, if you don't want to use a healer, you just need straight damage reduction, right? Like your characters are already pretty able to keep themselves healed up. Get Oliver Fogg. Tenet is really good because she offers a shield, and she does some damage. She also lowers reality defense. If I'm proving right, I believe it's reality defense. Yeah, so she's a great character to have. The characters down below, not saying that they're bad. It's just that they're either going to be niche or they're just not going to be as good for early game, right? Like Lilia, no way in heck am I going to tell you like she's not a good character to use. It's just that she just gets better in late game. So definitely, if you have Lilia, don't think it's the end of the world, right? It's just that your start is just not going to be as great as like if you had a friend who had Eternity, or Regulus, or somebody got Centurion, right? But you do have a good character, right? Like Apple is decent in the early game if you really don't get any of the healers and you're like, dang, I don't have a healer for myself. Apple is still decent and does a little bit of damage and is free. Click, decent character for reality damage if you know what the enemy does, but it's specific, right? And then you have some characters with shield and taunt, reality damage support. This is where you start going into a little bit more niche as you start looking at these characters down further. And then if you get down too far, you just have characters that are made for like self-sacrifice, like really specific teams. And in no way are these characters like terrible. They're just for like specific stuff is what I'm gonna say. And like there's multiple different teams that you can make. So that's what I'm gonna say. But this is just again a brief overview over the characters for the tier list as you're getting ready for global. So hopefully there's a character here that you really want. And in the in another video, I will talk about the upcoming banners because there are some characters that are gonna be coming out in the future that are actually gonna be pretty good. Right. So I want to make sure that I give you guys that information, like I said before. That way, as you're looking at this tier list, you can be like, oh, okay, well, I can save for this character. So I'll try to talk about the characters, maybe possibly individually from their banners. Because, like, again, I'm playing CN, so I'll be a little ahead. So I'll be able to give you guys a lot better information, right? So hopefully this was helpful to you. Let me know what character you're looking for, what team you're looking for down in the comment section. If you guys want more of this Reverse 1999 content, please sub to the channel. I plan on doing this long term, and I've been enjoying the way the videos are going, the comments, the discussions, the likes, and everything. You guys have been amazing. I'm going to keep making content for this game. So please sub to the channel. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You lucky gamers, have a good one. Lucky Lux out.